um, volunteering your services to be one of our team leaders, either at for the registration and accreditation, or our participant services. So, just as our team leaders, we just want to make sure, your focus is on making sure the volunteers are comfortable in their role, and obviously our focus is to make sure you're comfortable in your role as leaders. So that's probably the first thing to keep in mind. Safety is always a focus when we're doing volunteer work. So making sure all volunteers are in a safe environment. Our team have been going through some scenario training over the last couple of weeks about what happens, worst case stuff, and also different things. But the main thing is we make sure our volunteers and our participants are always safe as they can be. We want you obviously doing good, engage with our participants, enjoy the experience as well, and also to reach out to our AMG staff at any time if you're unsure about anything that is going on with your shift. Our staff members are all contactable. We'll make sure you've got our numbers and things like that. So if you are needing help and assistance, that you have our team leaders ready to go for you. So that's just a bit of an introduction on our team leaders. Kat's thrown in some numbers there of how many general volunteers we've got, how many shifts there are, and then how many actual volunteer slots we need to fill. So it is quite a lot. There's still plenty of gaps in there as well. Kat is in there for a few of our roles. So we continue to go on as well. I'm going to hand it over now to Nellie from the Cancer Council ACT. She's just going to talk to you just quickly about some of the SunSmart messaging that the Cancer Council wants us to get out there to our volunteers, just to make sure we're being SunSmart. So, Nellie, I'll hand it over to you for a couple of minutes to go through your messaging.
Cool. If possible, Adam, could you enable screen share for participants? I've just got a slide that I can go through.
Hi now, Nellie. Is that working?
Perfect. That is working. Thanks so much, Adam. So yeah, thanks so much everyone for having us on board and getting us to talk to you about sun safety. So my name is Nellie, and I'm going to give you essentially a quick, maybe 5-minute crash course on outdoor sun safety so that you are prepared to spend, extended times outdoors during the Masters Games. Hopefully you can take what you learned today beyond the Masters Games and then apply it to everyday life too. So I'd like to first acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Ngunnawal people, and I pay my respects to the elders past and present. I also extend my respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people here this evening. So why are we talking about sun protection? Well, in Australia, 2 in every 3 of us will be diagnosed with skin cancer by the age of 70. So Australia has one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world, but good news is that it's the most preventable type of skin cancer. So skin cancer, sunburns, freckles, tanning, and the like, these happen because of UV from the sun. So UV is why we are implementing sun protection. Now, the UV is highest in the summer because of the way the Earth tilts closer towards the sun. So the closer we are to summer, the higher the UV gets each day. Currently, the UV is already creeping up, and UV is highest each day around midday. The thing with UV is that we can't see or feel it. This means that even from now, even if it's cold, even if it's not sunny, the UV can still be high. So don't be fooled if we get days like this in the photo where it's slightly overcast. This is sort of like what Tuesday this week looked like. It was a little cold, it was cloudy, it was overcast, and it was slightly windy, yet the UV still reached 6, which is quite high. So since we can't see or feel the UV, it has to be checked separately. Now on the bottom of the screen, I have 3 places that you can check the UV. We've got the SunSmart app that you can download onto your phone. We've also got the myuv.com and the Apanza website. Now, if your phone has a weather app installed in it, it might also state the UV live. I have an iPhone, I use my iPhone. The weather app has the current UV. So that's an option of a place for you to check the UV. Now, UV is reported on a number scale, and it can go from 0 to above 13. There is no limit as to how high the UV can get. But essentially, UV that is between 0 and 2, that's classified as low. When it's 3 to 5, that's moderate. 6 to 7, that is high UV. Between 8 and 10, that's very high. And anything above 11, that is extreme UV. And when the UV is extreme, damage can occur in less than 10 minutes when we're outside unprotected. So in summer, on average in Canberra, our UV is 12 or above every day. At the moment, even though we're just at the beginning of spring, we are already averaging around 6, which is high. So when the UV is 3 or above, there is an increased risk of skin damage. And that's why sun protection is required whenever the UV is 3 or higher. But damage from UV isn't just about the UV being high, it's also the accumulation of UV we're exposed to throughout our lifetime. So even if the UV is low, like 1 or 2, when you're outdoors for a long periods of time, like you will be for the Masters Games, you are being exposed to UV. So we still need to be wearing sun protection. UV is responsible for more than 95% of skin cancers. So regardless of what the UV is, just whenever you go outside now, get into the habit of wearing sun protection. Let's see. Now, what does sun protection look like? It's slip, slop, slap, seek and slide. You may have heard this before. It may sound overly simple, but they are essential in protecting us from UV. So whenever you're outside, simultaneously using all 5 of these or a combination of these to ensure that you are adequately protected from UV. So if I go through each of them, slip means slip on sun protective clothing. This is clothing that covers as much of your skin as possible. So your shirts are ideally collared to protect your neck, and ideally long sleeved as well to protect your arms. With pants, ideally wear long pants, but if it's hot, you can choose clothing that's breathable. So there are breathable materials like cotton and linen. You can also get clothes with UPF rating. But it does get quite hot sometimes, and we might just choose to wear short sleeves or a dress or shorts. So for areas of skin that you can't cover with clothes, we use sunscreen. Now we want to be using sunscreen that has SPF 50 or 50 plus, is broad spectrum and water resistant. When you're buying sunscreen, you want all 3 of these because the SPF 50 or 50 plus is what is shielding us from UV. SPF 50 or 50 plus is the highest level you can buy in Australia for UV protection, and that will block around 98% of UV from our skin. Broad spectrum means it's protecting us from both UVA and B, and water resistance means it helps the sunscreen stay on your skin for longer. The other important thing with sunscreen is that you should be applying 20 minutes before going outside because the sunscreen needs to set on your skin before it can start working. And another important thing is that you should be applying enough on. Most people only use about half of the sunscreen they should. For the face and your neck, you need around 1 teaspoon, and you need at least 1 teaspoon for your left arm, 1 teaspoon for your right arm, and 1 teaspoon for each of your legs. The trick that I use is the 2-finger method. So I squeeze 2 lines of sunscreen on my finger, one for each finger. So these 2 lines will be one for my face, 2 lines for one arm, another 2 lines for the second arm, and respectively for each leg. Also, reapply frequently. Sunscreen naturally breaks down on our skin and it rubs off, so reapply every 2 hours. I know that on the bottles it says reapply every 4 hours, but sunscreens are tested in the labs, and lab conditions are different from real world outside conditions. So sunscreen actually gets rubbed off or breaks down around at the 2-hour mark. That's why you should be reapplying every 2 hours. It breaks down faster when we're sweating too, so reapply more frequently than every 2 hours if you're sweating or in contact with water. Then we have slap on a bucket hat, a broad brim hat, or a Legionnaire hat. These protect your whole head and your neck as well. Caps, unfortunately, are a big no. Sorry for the cap lovers. As they leave your ears unprotected, your neck is unprotected, and also like the sides of your face remain exposed too. If you have long hair or a natural Legionnaire hair, you still need to wear a hat because your hair doesn't protect you from the sun. We have seek, which means seek shade. And finally, slide on sunnies. So UV is reflected from surfaces, and damage to our eyes from UV can result in things like glaucoma and ocular melanoma. So to protect them, get sunnies that have the Australian Standard Category 2, 3, or 4. The Cancer Council will have marquees at different venues during the Masters Games where people can get free sunscreen, but we don't have enough to go across all grounds, or you might be quite far from the marquee on the day. So advise your volunteers to bring their own sunscreen, have it on with them, bring their hat, seek shade whenever they can, and wear their sunnies as well. Also, if we role model sun protective behaviour, then others are also likely to follow. And then lastly, if you're concerned about moles or certain freckles that you have, or if you notice any changes, or if you have concerns with skin cancer because it runs in your family, just go and see a GP. They will either examine your skin or they will refer you to a specialist. And everyone should be getting checked around once every 1 or 2 years. And your doctor should be checking every part of your body, not just the spots that you're concerned with, because skin cancer can occur anywhere on the body, unfortunately. All right, that's it for my crash course. Do we have any questions?
Thanks, Nellie, and
Great.
just for our volunteers, especially those who will be outside. Yeah, we are in the process of getting sunscreen for all our
Nice.
volleys, all our volleys that'll go in your volunteer pack as well. So you'll have a tube to utilise. Plus, there'll also be some, as I said, around each of the venues, especially obviously those who are outside, and for those who are visiting those outside, and our conveners and sports will also be able to do and provide those as well. So, yeah, a couple of good messages there just to pass on to your team, and we'll pass that on through to all our volunteers as well.
Great. Thanks so much, Adam, for having us along.
No worries. Thanks, Nellie.
All right.
We'll jump back into our share our screen. Everyone can see that okay, hopefully. Not sharing any major things. So just to go through where the leader roles are. So those who are working under the registration and accreditation roles, you'll be at the Canberra Centre, at our Games Information Centre, which Mikhail here is on the call. He's overseeing the Games Information Centre there. So he'll be your main point of contact at the Games Information Centre moving forward. And those in participant services, if you're working at the opening ceremony, it's at the National Museum, they've got the 7 different sports zones, or if you're working at the closing ceremony, it is the Botanic Gardens as well. So they're sort of the main locations, depending on which role you are assigned for. Do you want to go through this, or you want me to go through this one?
I'm happy to give this one a go. So, yeah, so with your actual role, so as a registration accreditation team leader, one of the things you're going to be doing is volunteers will be starting at different times. So you'll have some that might be the first shift or the fifth shift. So as I guess it's identifying those volunteers where it's their first shift and making sure that they have a venue specific induction so they know where things are. So on your first shift, I think it'll probably be Mikhail that'll be kind of reaching out and giving you a bit of a brief, and there'll be a checklist. So making sure they know where the toilets, emergency exits are, where everything's stored, how everything's going to kind of work. So make sure you give your volunteers that venue induction. And generally your role is to oversee the volunteers at registration and accreditation. So each day there'll be a list of who are the volunteers that should be on the shift. So it's making sure that people are there. And if they're not, let me know, and also let Mikhail know. So reporting any of those absences, also just general troubleshooting, things that come up. Coordinating breaks if people need breaks or need to go to the toilet and stuff like that, maybe backfilling them a little bit and just coordinating that. If there's any incidents that occur, so you'll need to be reporting those and make sure Mikhail's aware of those. And definitely a big one is reminding the volunteers at their end of their and at the beginning of their shift and at the end to log their hours. So some people can do the time clock where they start and stop, and some people might at the end of the shift want to log their hours. So it's helping them and reminding them that they need to log their hours at the end of each of their shifts. And with them logging their hours, there's also opportunity to provide feedback. So they can kind of rate how they felt about their shift, but also report any incidents or any concerns that might be happening. So it's important that Mikhail's kept in the loop as well. If there's anything happening in registration accreditation, he needs to be aware. And for the participant services leaders, again, it's for the opening and closing ceremonies, it could be a bit of a general venue induction, again, overseeing the volunteers, reporting absences, troubleshooting, coordinating their breaks. So that's quite similar. So for those opening and closing ceremonies, I'll be there for the opening ceremony, but not the closing ceremony. For the sports zones, so you'll be kind of helping to coordinate those as well. What I'm interested to find out from people on the call though is there might be potentially maybe 2 or 3 people that, or maybe only the 1, 2 or 3 people that are on that particular shift that you're on, that you're going to help coordinate, because you're going to be kind of like their team leader. My question is, what's the best communication method for you? Like, would you be happy to give them your phone number so they know if they have anything they can come to you? Or has anyone got any other suggestions of what might be suitable? I'm keen to hear what people think might work.
I mean, I'd be comfortable if you already screened people to provide my number, and yeah, text or call.
Okay, cool.
That'd be the most effective.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or suggestions?
I mean, we did chat about some sort of WhatsApp groups and things like that, but once again, you'd still have to share your numbers to be logged into those groups. So we're just wary about those. Yeah, what they could do. It's more just so that people can communicate directly with you, if need be. That's what we're trying to ascertain, because with the sports zones, people are going to be all over Canberra in different spots, including yourselves. Going out and seeing the sports and visiting the sports and doing that type of thing. So we just want to make sure people are comfortable, and we would only share your number with those on the shift. So that would be also, it may only be 2 people or 3 people, depending on how many are on that shift that you are leader for. Okay.
Okay.
I think,
Well,
yeah, I think if there are any objections, Kat, we'll take that and work out other ways if other people do object to that.
yeah. So with the sport zones, you'll be getting out. So between all the different sports, you'll have all the schedules as well. So you know what sports are on at what times and what venues, and you can kind of like coordinate that, because you might have some volunteers that have a real passion for a specific sport and might like to spend some time at that sport or a couple of sports. So you can kind of like help coordinate that process as well to make sure we try and get as much coverage as possible. Cool. Thanks, Adam.
Just before each shift, this is probably more relevant to those at the Games Information Centre. As long as with an induction, there'll be a need for just a pre-shift general briefing for all volunteers to follow. An example is there on the screen. This will be available at the Games Information Centre for those to come in. If there's no shift lead either present, that'll be done by somebody else, probably one of our staff or one of Mikhail's staff that he's got there. Bringing the volunteers in together before they start, just going through these sorts of 4 main points that people understand the start of the shift about different safety issues. So for those who are out on the road with the sports liaison officer, this will be not the participant services role. This will be available for people to read prior to that. So we will send this out as well to volunteers so they know what the pre-shift safety briefing is as well. Just some of the expectations from us as a team, and this is pretty much expectations for all my team, including all my staff members as well, is be on time for your shift and set the example. Don't be bossy, but be helpful. That's probably the main thing. We'll deal with a lot of different people, different personalities in the volunteer space. Some people can be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. And others are very easy to get along with. But main thing is to try and to be helpful. I think the most important thing is make the experience enjoyable for everyone, including our participants. So we always have to be thinking of our participants front of mind, assist where possible, be active, get in, be amongst whatever is going on at wherever you're based, and really enjoy it. Have the pride in the volunteer shirt that we've got for you. If you are outside in the sun, put something on underneath it, that they are short sleeve shirts. My bad. Enjoy being in your shirt. Feedback, we always welcome feedback. So as I said, at the end of your shifts, provide feedback, constructive feedback, so that we can continue to improve. And also that comes from participants, by speaking with participants as well, what we can do, because I can't be everywhere, my team can't be everywhere, so we are relying on our volunteers to be our eyes and ears out of the mounts, all the sports, and obviously reach out to us, the AMG staff, if need be. You will know the AMG staff because we wear these polos. We've got the blue across the top. You'll see us wearing these mainly throughout the week. So you'll notify. You'll see us if you need to, and obviously our contact details are available as well. I'll throw over to you in terms of communication. Can't hear me. So just with communication, making sure that we're effective with our communication methods. That's where we're talking, or hands gestures, signals, body language, things like that. That we are be as professional as possible. Going through our briefings and debriefings. Maintaining team morale. If things happen. There might be a major incident that we have to deal with. So let's maintain our team morale, making sure our volunteers are okay, ensuring that they are, as I say, being very safety conscious, and then of course ensuring our clear information flow. So you know exactly who you need to speak to if something does happen. Then you've got Kat, you've got Mikhail, you've got myself, you've got Tegan as well to all to reach out to. And then if we need to escalate any communication, then we can do that through the chain of command. And that sort of goes on to sort of this slide. And we sort of showed this one in our initial induction a couple of weeks ago. And just basically, yeah, what happens, you know, for various different incidences. So if you are there, you know, if you are at a sport and you see something happen, check with the sports person, the convener. They will then move that along the chain if need to. Especially on that bottom one there, if you're out and about, if a volunteer does come to you for something and you can't resolve it, then we move it through up the chain as well. So hopefully that sort of is pretty common sense, I think. We do trust you out there. That's the main thing. We do trust you. But if there are incidents that do need to be reported, that we do follow that chain of command. And just some trouble. So some troubleshooting, some common issues that volunteers are going to ask you, and also participants are going to ask you. For those based at the Games Information Centre, things like registration issues, you know, they might come to us and say, oh, for some reason I thought I was booked into this event, not into for that event. What do we do about that? We'll have staff there trained to deal with that. Obviously, accreditation, our digital accreditation has gone out to all our participants. People are downloading those at the moment, but there are going to be people who do not have a smartphone, who have got some issues, don't understand the technology, that we're there to help them to do that. So it's about, you know, understanding that, yeah, we do have backups, we do have solutions for these problems. Venue issues, if you are out at venues, where are things located? So if you are with the participant services and you are at a venue, whether you're with another volunteer or yourself, just be making sure you understand where the venue is, where things are, so that you can help with the participants. Any complaints and resolutions, or resolutions from the complaints, if you can help them on the spot, please do. The quicker we can resolve an issue, the better we are all placed. And once again, the volunteers under you may come to you with an issue that they're not sure of. Once again, if you're not confident answering, then reach out to us. And understanding emergency situations and the first response. So if you are at a sport and something happens, you know, a player goes down, breaks their leg, games have to stop. The first aid are there. They need to call an ambulance. The ambulance needs to come in. Just helping with that, obviously, and if we haven't found out from the sports, just letting us know, and being able to help with that first response in terms of with the participants, managing the participants and their expectations with that. We do have a video. I'm conscious of time, Kat, so we might send the link straight out to everyone on this call. Tegan, our sports and operations manager, has just done a quick video. It's about 7 minutes, just explaining more of the roles for you with the sports participation services role, just so you get a bit more of an understanding of that role. Those at the Registration Accreditation Centre are pretty self-funded, self-knowledge. Mikhail will be there along with his team to address you, but those on the call about that's pretty much participants are coming in. They'll show their ID, we'll scan their ID, they'll collect their bag, and then they'll move through. So there will be cheat sheets and things like that printed on the tables, so you understand, so you can follow those through. And even those, we'll be using, for example, iPads to scan people's IDs and checking them in, giving out bags, loyalty badges, all that type of thing as well.
Yeah.
So we will train the staff in that as they come in.
Yeah, so next week, I will just get down a list of people who are working in the registrations department with me, and we'll be sending some cheat sheets with you so you guys are prepared and you have some prior knowledge as to what you can expect from us. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Everybody has got the access to the application. You guys, as volunteers, will be receiving an email from ID123 next week as well. So you guys will understand exactly what the registrations desk is going to be like and what the issues participants are going to come with us for. Everything's on the website, easy click. So I'll just create a small one page cheat sheets with all the links to the websites where you just got to click it and then you'll have the answers ready for you. There will be iPads on the desk, and then the team leaders, I'll just try to see how I can place you around the area so that you are also aware of what's happening um, outside of your control. For example, if you are at the other side of the desk from me, so you can also manage and answer the questions to the participants if need be. So we'll just start to see. I'm just trying to do a mock play on my head, just trying to see what exactly a scenario can come through, and so that everybody has the answers on the tip of their mind, especially when participants come. And a lot of the information from what I've been, since I'm the administration as well, I get a lot of queries as to where can I find so and so information, and it's all on the website. So that cheat sheet will just be your Bible for the day for the team leaders. So don't worry, I'll brief you guys. We'll send you another email. So if you're okay, just let Kat know. And if you're okay to share your emails to us, just give me a team leader's email, and then you will just receive a cheat sheet next week before Wednesday.
Thanks, Mikhail. So
No worries.
our plan is to make sure you are fully aware. Yeah, there's some things that'll take some time to get used to. There's no doubt about that. We're still getting used to. We're still waiting on some equipment to arrive to test ourselves. So, we're still doing this for the first time, especially in the digital accreditation. But we are working hard at that as well. And just finally, just a quick update. So this is basically where we are a week out, and then 8 days or 9 days out. So we're up over 8,400 participants from across the country and overseas. 44 sports. There's 49 sporting venues. Our largest age demographic group is in the 60 plus. About 59% age between 50 and 69 is our biggest area. As I said, we're doing digital accreditation for the first time. The opening ceremony is a ticketed event. It is sold out, so that will be just something to be aware of. Those leaders who are on at the opening ceremony, obviously you'll get, that doesn't include you, obviously with the volunteers and the passes, that you'll get 6,500 interstate participants. So we've got a lot of people coming in. A lot of people haven't been to Canberra for a long time, so they're going to get a bit of a shock with everything that's going on. A reminder that there is free public transport for all participants and volunteers during the event week from the 18th to the 25th of October. So once again, if we get questions about that, it is all they need to do is have their pass with them to access the free public transport on the light rail and the buses as well. So that's just a quick snapshot of where we're up to. With just over a week to go before the competition kicks off. Our Games Information Centre does open on Wednesday morning. We are building and bumping in Tuesday night once all the shops have closed, and then we'll We'll finish that off on Wednesday morning before we open to participants at 10 a.m. So for those lucky to be on the first shift, we'll work closely with you on that. And that's pretty much it from me. Are there any questions? And I know it's a lot of information. We're throwing it at you a bit there. We're happy to answer questions or anything that you are unsure of. I'm happy to stay on the line to answer those questions. If you do need to go, please feel free to jump off and we'll be in further contact with you. Unless Kat, you've got anything else, we're happy to stay on and answer any questions for those who want to hang around.
There's a question in the chat, Adam. So will the volunteers at the Canberra Centre be responsible with distributing merchandise along with the Rego packs, or is that organised separately?
So with the merchandise, we will be looking for assistance with the merchandise handouts from Sunday the 19th onwards. So we will locate somebody in there. Belgravia will train a few people to do that. To hand it, they'll have everything set up. We just need to work through that. The packs are a separate area. So people come in, collect their pack. We'll scan them, we'll hand them their pack, and then they can go. Or if they've got pre-collections, they'll go over to the merchandise side. Or if they want to buy some merchandise, they'll go over to that. So they are sort of two separate little areas. We do need to be mindful of the traffic and congestion in that area, and that's something that we will need assistance in controlling, and that might be one of the leaders' roles in terms of making sure if people have to wait in line, they'll wait in line until the traffic clears, and then we'll get them in. But it's also not a bad opportunity to speak to participants while they're waiting and engage with them and ask questions, and if they've got any queries. We're hoping to have a volunteer role if we have enough to do that. Just working with when there is a queue, just talking to our volunteers and easing any questions that they might have, or directing them. We might need them to go to the information queue, for example, first before they line up to collect their packs. Hopefully that answered that one.
Yep, fantastic, thanks. Any other questions?
Sally has a question. Sally?
Yeah, hi. I might have missed this, so please tell me to just go back and check my emails. But if you're a participant, sorry, I'm just looking at this, participant service team leader for a sports zone, how do you know where you're supposed to go?
So in the you'll be allocated a zone, and there is a map. So you might be there's 7 different zones. So what am I doing? I lost it. Here we are. So you'll be allocated a zone. I think in the roster shifts cut the zone, you choose the zone. That's correct, isn't it? Or not?
No, it's not there.
So for the participant services team member, they can select the different zones that they want to work in, and when they open up each one of them, they'll see what sports are covered, when the sports are being run, the dates they're being run, the times they've been run, and the locations. They're all listed there. But as a team leader, we can, if we need, open up more team leader roles, so that there could be team leaders that are working over multiple zones. So it might not be one team leader to one zone, but it could be maybe a couple of zones. So we could work that out as to see, what people are kind of inclined to do, Adam. So I guess if we need to open up more and team leader the zones, we can as well.
And we might just work on, Sally, where you're based. So, for example, if you're on the north side, or Belconnen or something like that, we might allocate you that area for those participants.
That's great, Adam. I think that's all I'm trying to understand. So at the moment, you haven't told me where I need to go. You will tell me where I need to go sometime between now and the 19th of October.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just making sure you hadn't already told me and I'd missed it. But I think what you're telling me is you haven't told me, you will, and it'll all be good on the day.
Yep. Yep.
Great.
And
Thank you.
and obviously just with that, with vehicle use and things like that. So we being a volunteer role, we I mean, obviously people can using their own vehicles to get around. Once again, be mindful of safety. If you do want to use public transport, feel free to do that throughout those shifts. But when you click on the video, Tegan gives a really good explanation of some of the different things as well about the participant services role, and you can just apply that in your leadership of that role as well. So we'll send that link around. We've only just uploaded it, so we've just done it today, ready to go. So we'll send that out post this meeting. Okay, sounds like we're all quiet. Again, thanks everyone for jumping tonight. I know it's a bit late after everyone's working and things like that. So thank you for the last 45 minutes. Once again, please just reach out if you have any questions. Got Kat's email there. She'll direct if she needs any assistance. We provide her with that best we can. But she does a pretty good job in organising everything. So yeah, thanks again, and thank you for volunteering and helping us out. It's going to be an exciting time next week, and we can't wait to get the event going and enjoy it. So thank you all, and
Thank
I'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Adam, are you able to stop the video?
Ah.